396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Time to make the donuts. Remember that years ago, maybe a decade ago, maybe 2 decades ago? I don't know. Those of you around my age who remember time to make the donuts. It was a man barely alive. I mean, just the slightest pulse, and that was it. And I think that would be the best way to describe the Jaguars offense at 1 o'clock Sunday during the 2024 season. Not alive, in a coma, asleep, not with it. It rains. You see what happens in this city. I mean, maybe that's where Press Taylor designed his 15 scripted plays during the, daily rain coma that happens right here in Duval. It is beyond frustrating. It's sickening. As a matter of fact, it's a complete lack of professionalism to consistently do that Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. That's what they did for you. There were times where the defense was ready. There were times where the special teams were ready. The offense at 1 o'clock on Sunday? Hell no. With that dude in time to make the donuts. Yesterday was scary, ugly. Miller Electric Center, practice number 10, 5 offensive penalties. The offensive line looked slow and friendly. Today they woke up, and guess what? The sun was already up. And it was a slight breeze at the Miller Electric Center. And what you witnessed this morning, for those who are lucky enough to be there, I think was the best performance so far of Trevor Lawrence. And on top of that, what an incredible effort by Parker Washington. So, for hesitation, for just being overall alarmed about here we go again. No, they responded. And I'd love to know what happened. Did they just get a good night's sleep and they got after it? Or was something said? And honestly, when you start to think about something said, I think you have to wonder who. We're talking offense only here, right? Who? Who's going to say something on this offense that is going to be able to get the other players to understand? No one on the offensive line, right? Would you agree? Okay. Travis Etienne. Parker Washington. I'm going to say no and no. The new wide receivers, Brown, Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., their best day offensively, Thomas Jr. was ill. He wasn't out there today. So who was it? Or was it just what I said prior to that? They just woke up and got after it today because, folks, it was really, really good to see. The only problem that this offense had, and I'll get into this in a little bit, they really struggle in short yardage. They struggle in red zone. And even without Eric Armstead and without Mason Smith, the red zone today, once again, in my opinion, dominated by the defense. And, a lot of that goes to Trayvon Walker, who is, maybe I'll do it at the end of camp. I'll rank my top 5 or top 10 players. But I'll say this right now. Trayvon Walker and Jordan Lewis are two guys that just absolutely are 1 and 2. They have been spectacular. And you look at a guy like Foye, who had a really good day today. I'm telling you something. Devin Lloyd is flying all over the football field. And he looks really cool wearing that 0. Okay? He does. And, Josh Hines Allen. I'm starting to feel pretty good about this defense. I'm still want to see more and some live bullets, obviously, to see if they can get a pass rush, particularly the interior where they were last year when it came to pass. The pass rush win rate statistical category with ESPN. But, we've seen different layers of what they're going to be able to do here defensively. We saw some blitzes from the linebackers on Friday night during the scrimmage. It kind of feels like this too high shell defense that they're going to run with their safeties is going to hopefully be a little bit easier to comprehend. And, zone defense, eyes on the quarterback, they have worked tirelessly. I mean, just again and again and again and again on creating takeaways. That has been a huge emphasis so far in training camp. So, yeah, the defense, in my opinion right now, is ahead of the offense. But the only thing that I look at right now offensively, and it worries me, is the line. I feel really good about tight end. Brenton Strange made a phenomenal grab today. I mean, that was a highlight film, a one-handed. Hey, that's not to say, hey, kid, that's not Willie Mays. That's Brenton Strange. I mean, this thing was phenomenal with Devin Lloyd in good coverage and a perfectly thrown ball by Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence really set, the tone. In the second play during teamwork today, he hits Parker Washington on a deep ball. And, this good coverage. You have Dewey and you have Tyson Campbell. And I'm guessing it went 40-some-odd yards. Washington was able to get ahead of those two defenders and hauled it in. It was a touchdown. He would go on to have another touchdown later, a red zone variety, which I'll get into coming up here in just a little bit. But, Travis Hunter, both sides of the football today, right, worked offensively and defensively for a second consecutive day. So what I'm getting at is, there were times where it was Brown who had another big day, had a couple of touchdowns, right? Washington, and then Joshua Cephas. You know what Joshua Cephas did today? Something that no one else has done so far in camp. He beat Travis Hunter. He went by him. There's a guy that I think is a lock for the number 5 spot at wide receiver. But it's a calming effect for you diehard Jaguars fans, because yesterday was scary. And, your quarterback himself said it. They were slow. They were sluggish. Liam Cohen alluded to it. I'd like to say I get it because I've been covering so many of these. I don't get it because I've never been out there practicing. But I know that there's going to be peaks and valleys. I know there's going to be times where you're just flat out tired. And you've done it, and you've done it again, and you've done it. Even though it's your profession, you're going to have better days than others. I love the last 2 days. You talk to people who watched yesterday's practice, they'll tell you that on Tuesday it was the worst practice that they've had out of the 10 at that particular time. Yet you bump into a guy like Dave Campo, as I did, and he's like, this is the greatest practice I've ever seen. Because it was a defensive-dominated practice. All right? Today, again, the defense had its moments. One-on-ones, the defense is having their way with offensive linemen on one-on-ones, 2-on-2s, and again, red zone. Okay? Defense ahead. But to see Trevor today, 12 of 16, 4 touchdown passes, Trevor Lawrence dialed in. That is the best way to describe his effort earlier today at the Miller Electric Center. And take it for what it is. They'll get back after it tomorrow. Of course, they're off on Friday. And then you have preseason game number 1 coming up on Saturday night. Gates are open, I think, around 5:30. Game time at 7. Of course, we'll have all the pregame for you as well. In-game, post-game, right here on your home of the Jaguars, 92.5 FM, along with 1010 on the AM. All right, so we got a ton to do here over the next couple hours. It's great to have you with us. Opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. I tell you what, I'm glad I have 2020 because today was a lot of fun to watch. It really was. He was a surgeon today. I felt like he was a surgeon, kind of like my buddy Dr. Neil Shmunez. I mean, Trevor was just on it today. He was crisp. He was putting the ball exactly where it's supposed to be. And, I'd hate it for you if you're going Saturday night and all of a sudden you can't see. You're like, who's that? Honey, what number is that? What's going on? It's time for you to get an eye examination. Stop putting it off. Just go to Shmunez Vision. Been around now for quite some time. You can get all of the testimonials by going to Shmunez Vision on Instagram. And take it from me. 9 years ago, rolled in there. Dr. Neil Shmunez looked at my eye and said, you need surgery tomorrow. He performed it, took out what was cancerous. There's never been a setback. Dr. John Hunt, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, make an appointment today and find out what is going on. Get the very latest with your eyes at Shmunez Vision. All right, when we come back, let's check in with Dylan Denmark. Let's go through today's practice. Let's also hear from Parker Washington. Had an opportunity to catch up with him. Next hour, John Oehser will join us from Jaguars.com as well.
Hayes Carline is our special agent. He goes into the locker room to uncover insights about your favorite football team. His mission is to bring it back to you on 1010XL. Special ops support by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Shut up, Campione Law. With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
If you need a game plan for the weekend, I'll tell you my takes for some of the weekend's best options. 1010XL's Dan Hicken here. Watch for Musings with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook. Turned on by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
This is Joe C. from XL Primetime and stoked to crank up the 9 after 5 once again at the Golf Club of Southampton. Every Wednesday, a little after 5, the gang at Southampton will be hosting us with a new game, and I'm inviting you to be a part of it. Now, through the summer stretch, break up the week with a little hump day fun every Wednesday. Call 287-PLAY to get on the tee sheet. There'll be food afterwards and prizes, including playing for a membership at the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and hit the tee with Joe C.
AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Chelsea here
from Renewal by Andersen. You've seen and heard our ads where I talk about Renewal by Andersen's exclusive Fiberx material, twice as strong as vinyl, incredibly energy efficient, and custom built to fit your home perfectly. But if you haven't reached out yet, August only, Renewal by Andersen is offering triple savings. $300 off every window, $825 off every patio door, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0% interest for 12 months. Schedule your free consultation today at bestwindowsflorida.com. License number CGC 1527613.
Jacksonville Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
But up to 52 varieties. The donuts. Time to make the donuts. I made the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts, up to 52 varieties, fresh day and night. No supermarket can say.
Press Taylor, Trevor Lawrence, the 2024 offense, that was at around, 1:15 consistently each and every Sunday during the NFL season. Will that change? It better. Cohen had success. 10 drives last year in Tampa, they scored. 10. Okay? Jacksonville won 18 straight games. And I know what it does to you as a fan. You're a humble bunch. I said I would never use the word patient describing you, but you're a patient fan base. You don't expect a miracle. What you'd like, how about a 3-0 game, Jacksonville? How about a 7-0 game, Jacksonville? How about midway through the first quarter, you can smile and toast with your buddies. You can slug down a beer and look at the clock and see that there's 8 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. But dadgummit, the Jaguars are up 3-0. You never even got that opportunity a year ago. I firmly believe that is going to be one of the major things that you see that changes this year. I think it's a huge part of this game plan about being able to strike early. And there are so many fingers to blame a year ago. And again, the defense at times did its job. Special teams did its job. But, why? Again and again and again. And 3 and out. Dylan, what was it? 6 weeks ago, whatever it was, we went through their opening drive every single game last year. And it was like total yards, 2, -14, 3. It was so consistent, it's beyond belief.
Yeah, especially, it was something where you look at Liam Cohen, what he did in Tampa, and then you look at what Jacksonville did just in the first quarter alone, and it's almost like you're watching the JV, you're looking at varsity stats compared to JV stats.
Yeah. You can totally change the complexion of a football game by getting a lead, by taking control of the football, have the time of possession. And, the statistics across the board, TOP among last in the NFL. They were the worst in the NFL in starting field position. Again, we just talked about takeaways and how much they have worked on that during 11 practices so far throughout training camp. They certainly did the exact same thing over the summer. I've never seen so much work on trying to take the football away. So it appears that this is a very smart coaching staff. And I also think it's safe to say that they have acquired smart football players. Okay? Jordan Lewis makes a play every single practice. I'll be the first to raise my hand and say, why are you getting a 30-year-old safety when you're trying to rebuild? Well, it appears I was dead wrong because this kid does provide leadership. That same question I asked about igniting today's practice, feel free to tell me who you think it is off the offense. I have no idea if it's not Trevor. You get to the defensive side, all of a sudden, you know what? You got some alphas over there. You got some leaders over there, including guys that you've imported, like Jordan Lewis, who is going to be a leader and already is a leader. And that's rare. It is. Yeah, I did a weekly show with Malik Jackson. And remember years ago in San Diego when Jared Odrick really showed his ass? Okay, it was an awful look for the organization, and no one would go up to him. And I did a weekly deal with Malik, and during a break, I'm like, why don't you say something to him? He's like, man, that's a grown-ass man. He's like, I've been here for what, 4 games? It's not my job to go up to him and tell him what to do. So some free agents won't do that. Jordan Lewis, the exact opposite. I played the comments last week with Jarian Jones, who has been very outspoken about his leadership. I think that is a positive. All right, tonight's show is brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. And if you have been injured in a vehicle or you have been just personally injured altogether, you need to take notice. For starters, we're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience when you talk about Rick Alexander and the Alexander Law Practice. Now, the first thing you need to know is this. When you call, you're going to get an immediate call back, 400-6600. That call is also free. The consultation is free. And you may be out of work, your car may be damaged, and you can't afford to pay it. These are the questions you ask Rick Alexander, because you're never going to pay out of pocket. And you may be thinking, there's no way they're going to pay for my car to get fixed, or there's no way they're going to help me pay bill. Pick up the phone and call Alexander Law Practice. You're going to get the individualized attention that you deserve. Again, Alexander Law Practice. If you're alone on this and you're hurt, take that down. Again, the phone number is 400-6600. Oh, man. Good day. Parker Washington began it. Second play of the game. Again, the deep ball over Dewey and Tyson Campbell. He also caught an absolute bullet. Okay, this was a J.R. Richard fastball from about 7 yards out from Trevor Lawrence. And again, Parker Washington, good coverage by Eric Murray, draping him. Didn't matter. Washington pulled it in. You did see as well a diving catch made by Parker Washington. Eric Murray, once again, in coverage. He ended up with 5 receptions during the game. We're going to play the interview. Do we have time to do that now, as a matter of fact? Or
we can play right now.
Okay, why don't we do that? We'll set this up. Washington, as you know, is in his 3rd year, and he's a guy that last year, the experience of learning all of the different wide receiver positions ended up really helping him because of injuries. And, I talk about it here with Parker, but if you've been able to notice what's going on so far, if you've been lucky enough to get out to the Miller Electric Center, or you went to the scrimmage, you've seen that a major component in the Liam Cohen offense, okay, is going to be moving around these wide receivers, which really sets up nicely for Parker Washington. So let's play the interview. I caught up with him at the Miller Electric Center earlier this morning. 3rd-year wide receiver Parker Washington. It was a hot one out there today, but a real good practice for you.
We just want to come out here each and every day, just take it one play at a time, have some fun, and just be the best group out there.
Yeah. You've had a real strong training camp. And again, I thought today was your best practice. But what's it been like to learn this new offensive system and to understand your role in it?
Definitely. It's been an adjustment for me as far as, not really an adjustment. I've been in a role where I have to be able to know every position and, be ready whenever my number's called. Today was another opportunity to do that, and it was fun. And biggest thing, this is my first time in this family style of offenses, and I've been loving it. I've been enjoying it, and I'm just excited to keep going and keep getting better and understanding more.
That experience from a year ago of learning all 3 wide receiver positions, and now it obviously appears that there's going to be much more movement with this year's wide receivers. How valuable is that to be able to digest that from a year ago?
It's just looking at growth. That's what it's all about. You just want to be able to get better each and every day. Just focus on putting your best foot forward and being the best you. That's been my focus since I came in, and being able to learn from great guys in front of me has been special to me, and I just want to continue to grow, continue to build, and just continue to have some fun with it.
William Cohen and company, they've really worked mechanically with Trevor Lawrence, everything from his footwork up.
Yeah.
What have you noticed with him so far?
I mean, I just feel like he's just so much more comfortable, and he's confident with his offense, and he trusts the guys around him, and it's been fun. He's just having fun with it and embracing it, and he's being a great leader.
Keep hearing fun and the change in the culture. It's like you guys are actually enjoying it. I know last year was very difficult because you lost, but how different is that to, kind of take in what's going on with this team?
I mean, definitely. I mean, we can all say, it's a new vibe. It's new. But at the end of the day, I feel like we feel the energy, we feel the urgency of where we're trying to take this and where we're trying to go. And guys are embracing that. And you say have fun. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's football. It's a game. If we're not out here having fun, we're not going to be able to go out there and execute on Sunday.
Last one from me, Parker. Just the speed. You bring in Tootin, and then you bring in Diami, and obviously Travis Hunter and yourself and Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, it feels like you guys, no matter where you get the football, there's an opportunity to score.
Definitely, and that's how we talk in the meeting room as well. It's like we got to come out here and make plays, and we push each other to be our best selves. And I feel like it's going to pay us dividends at the end of the day. And I feel like guys are embracing that, like I keep saying. And it's been fun to watch, and I'm excited to be in this room.
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate you.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
All right, that was Parker Washington earlier today at the Miller Electric Center. He's really in a phenomenal place because he's not going to be someone that teams really game plan for. And all he has to do is show consistency. He is able to get open. His route tree is really extensive because of the work he did a year ago at all three wide receiver positions and what he's doing this year. I think Jaguar fans who maybe casual fans that will, check in the next week or so once the preseason gets underway, and then certainly your focus once Carolina comes here on opening day. If you a fan that pays attention, that is going to really be the first thing that you're going to look at and say, oh, my God, what are they doing? And it's going to be fun is that they're learning all of the wide receiver positions. The way that they move around is going to be a nightmare for, opposing defensive coordinators. I've had people be like, Ballou, is Hunter in the slot or is Hunter going to be on the outside? And if so, where's Brown? And I'm telling you, they're all working at different positions. And that's great to have that in your arsenal, especially those guys who can score from anywhere in the football field. I don't want to call Parker Washington a possession receiver. He just ran by Dewey and Tyson Campbell today and scored a touchdown during the second play of teamwork. But I think underrated. I think you as fans are looking for a little bit more consistency. And he's shown it in camp. I mean, every night I come in here and talk about at least one good play that has been made by Parker Washington. So thank you for the opportunity to talk with him today. And I think he's in a real good position to catch a lot of footballs coming up this year. All right, at 7 o'clock, we're going to hear from our good friend John Oehser. He joins us every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, Jaguars.com, senior writer. So we'll do that. In the meantime, I have much more as to what did take place today during training camp edition number 11, where they went for 1 hour and 45 minutes. But if you want to join the conversation, 641-1010, text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And you can also get us on YouTube at 1010XL into the night.
Don't just stand there. Everything you need to turn $1 into an epic win is in your hand. Hard Rock Bet. Bet it, parlay it, boost it, however you want to do it. From wherever you are to the moon. Bet anytime a line, prop, or parlay catches your eye. And withdraw cash when you want it. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it, I guarantee it.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC-branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey, Jacksonville. It's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
Your grandfather was stronger at 50 than you are at 40. Want to know why? His testosterone was 30% higher than yours. That's not genetics. That's modern life killing your hormones. Stress, chemicals, sitting, it's all crushing your T levels. Male Excel reverses it. Prescription testosterone, thyroid optimization, personalized to you. Over 100,000 men are already winning again. Your turn. Try MaleExcel.com. Free assessment because you deserve it. Your family deserves it.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
$1 oysters continue at the Blue Crab Crab House. That's good tonight until 9 o'clock, only 6:30 or a few minutes after. So right off of San Jose, go to Jointed Creek Road. It is the Blue Crab House. $1 oysters. Really, really, really the best. There's no doubt about that. All right, real quick, injuries, really nothing new to report. You know, the Eric Armstead situation is, I don't know what to make of it. You know, I just don't. You know, I have my thoughts on it, but I want to give him, you know, I guess the benefit of the doubt. Could he really just lay down on his teammates? I find that's, you know, kind of hard to believe, but we will actually see. There's no way he's going to give it a go this Saturday night. But, you know, that's something that has to take place. That's something that has to change. They need a little bit more depth there. You know, Mason Smith's still on the pup, and it feels like he's close. You know, at least I watch him going through his treatment and his rehabilitation and, you know, trying to work out whatever the issue is. It hasn't been officially stated what his injury is. So, you know, I'm going to leave it at that. But, you know, my estimation would be it'll be soon. Not going to be this week. Could it be next week in New Orleans? I don't know. Will he practice against Miami, play against Miami? I don't know, but they need him in there. His entire future is ahead of him. You're talking about a guy getting ready to go into year number 2. A lot of people thought he had first-round draft ability, but we know he did not take care of his body a season ago. It's good to see Tootin back out there running. It really feels like this offense is leaning on 4 different backs. And if you dive into it a little bit and, you look at the youngster out of Syracuse, Allen Jr., he is ferocious. He scored a red zone touchdown today. If it's goal line, maybe it's him. We keep hearing that he's the third down back. He's the best back in this group in pass protection, which cannot be overlooked. Okay, look at everything positively I've said about this offense today, while reminding you of just how deplorable they were a year ago, especially when the game started, right? I mean, there were times where they got better, always come from behind, right? And a lot of that, I mean, think about it for a moment. A lot of that is Trevor, no huddle, running his own offense and taking some chances, but they're not scripted plays. It's in the moment, and how much comes in, how much he just ignores. The microphone shuts off with, 15 seconds remaining in the play clock. And also, when you have a big lead, defenses tend to do what? Go on their heels. They'll give you a little something in front of them. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. But my point being, Jacksonville certainly was much more successful in the second quarter and in the second half than they were when the game began. But if the offensive line continues to be the major problem on that side of the ball, you need a running back in who can pass protect. And Allen Jr. may be the best of the 4. I don't know, or 5. Jackson's had a good camp. I think Jackson, we can all agree, is a practice squad guy. And hopefully no one snatches him up. Hopefully you can just bury him on that list. With Quentin Allen Jr. as well. And I've heard this, and it's fascinating to me because I think Travis Etienne, okay? But there are people right now that will tell you, even though he's a rookie and he's never played in the NFL, that the best hands in that backfield is LaQuint Allen Jr. So if this kid is your best pass blocker at the running back position, has the best hands on the team at the running back position, and maybe jam it in there, right? 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, goal line. Give him the ball to pick up the first down. He may be the toughest guy in that group. How do you not put him on the football field? I've been all over Tootin because I think Tootin's a home run guy, and I think he's got wiggle. And when you get a look at him, he looks like Maurice Jones Jr. He's not quite as big in his trunk, okay? But he's real. I mean, he is thick. Here's the guy that I think is a complete mixture of power and speed. Tank Bigsby's had a great camp. A really good camp. And Etienne, he's counted out. I still think Etienne's going to be a huge part of this screen game that Liam Cohen does. And, I give you the assessment on these players. And I get, here you go again, Ballou. You're telling us all these guys are great. Don't you ever say anything bad about anyone. I love when I get that type of stuff. I love it. It just fires me up. It makes my job so enjoyable. Okay? Because you hear whatever you want to hear. You're never going to hear what I say. You're going to take what I say and take what you want from that, if it makes any sense. It doesn't matter what I say. It matters what you hear. And I am absolutely, if you look at wide receivers and running backs, thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. You know what? If you take Etienne, Bigsby, Tootin, Allen Jr., Brown, Thomas, Washington, Hunter, and Cephas. You know what the biggest disappointment out of that group is? Any idea?
Say that group again?
Forget about it. I mentioned 9 guys. It's Brian Thomas Jr. Far and away. It's not even close. Far and away. Brown, consistent. Hunter, consistent. Washington, consistent. Cephas, consistent. Beat Hunter today when Hunter was on defense. Just told you about these backs. Brian Thomas Jr., ill today. You know, someone's, oh, do you think he's... No. I don't think anything. I think he's ill. I hope he doesn't have the flu. I hope it's a cold. I hope it ain't food poisoning. I hope it ain't the flu. I don't want to see anyone. I mean, that's just awful. I mean, that's just cruel. When you puke your brains out, you should have reprieve. You should be able to relax. And when you get it all out of you and you're still just chucking up guts, it's just brutal. That's why booze sick is, you can deal with booze sickness. Yeah, you can't deal with the flu. The flu is scary. Now, every time I mention Brian Thomas Jr., what do I say? He's a much better game day player than he is a practice player. And I have no worries about Brian Thomas Jr. I think he will be fine. The chemistry's not there. It has to improve. But that's how good the backs and the receivers have been. And you know what? You add all of a sudden Hunter Long to the tight end position with Strange. I think they feel very good about their top 2 tight ends. It's the offensive line. There is your crutch. What are they going to do about that offensive line? That remains absolutely the biggest question. I'll ask John Oehser about that. He's going to join us here in about 18 minutes. But that's where I am offensively. So let's take a break and we come back and I had a couple of people. Maybe I'll dig it up. Maybe I won't. I'll see what I feel like here in just a couple of minutes. But I'm bragging on Trevor. And people like, you're a homer. Trevor's this, Trevor's that. He hasn't earned his money. I'm like, brother, I'm reporting what I saw. I also said yesterday they stunk up the joint. Okay? It was a great day. You're allowed to say it. He went 12 of 16 with 4 touchdowns. Mechanically, I'm not a quarterback guru. I'm not a QB whisperer. He looks fluid, man. He looks at ease with what is going on. And again, I think it's been a very consistent camp. Yesterday was a bad day. But the entire way through, I think Trevor Lawrence has gotten better. And today was the 11th overall practice. So we'll get another edition coming up tomorrow. All right, we got a ton to do. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
From pit road to victory lane.
The sun setting behind him. The wind at his back.
This Sunday at Watkins Glen.
The checkered flag is in the air.
NASCAR is tuned up by Maxie's Mechanics on 1010XL.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Got a leak or a clog? Or are old galvanized pipes causing low water pressure? At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we don't just fix plumbing issues. We solve them for good. And unlike other plumbers in the area, Superior Plumbing and Pipelining will never charge you to diagnose a problem. From simple plumbing repairs to trenchless pipelining, our estimates are free. And we can reline your cast iron pipes without making a mess of your yard. You have many choices for plumbing work. Make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipeline. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 6, 1999, Tony Gwynn goes 4 for 5, collecting his 3,000th Major League hits.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Josie for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor, lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet, quick feet, quick feet!
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Let's go, here we go, let's go, it's live now, let's go!
The 2025 NFL season is just around the corner, and we can't wait for you to be back at the bank. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are starting off the preseason going head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers Saturday, August 9th. Be at the bank as the Jags take the field for the first time this season and grab your tickets for a 7 p.m. kickoff by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you soon, Jags fans.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
There was a time where I was actually... Can't talk over Ozzy. But there was a time where I was actually really, really concerned, even worried, about how I was going to cover two things at one time. That is Jaguars practice, and that is Florida State's practice. Well, guess what? The Seminoles have made that easy on us. UNF's done a phenomenal job preparing the field for Florida State, but there will be no media access. So there'll be thousands of people here in town that aren't even aware that Florida State's in visiting. Mike Norvell has shut it down. It's a I think I would define it this way. It's like having a baby to save a marriage. Okay, this is what Mike Norvell is doing. It's beyond stupid. It makes zero sense. What he's really doing, and he doesn't know, is that he's forcing people who cover this team to go elsewhere for their information, and it's not all going to be true. There's going to be some guessing going on. It's going to actually, I believe, hurt him more than help. Okay, I go every year and cover him. I talk about what I see. There it is. And it goes away. Season begins. Now there's going to be speculation. There's going to be innuendo. There's going to be leaks. There's going to be all sorts of stuff. Not to mention, it hurts in recruiting. It hurts with diehard boosters here in town. It's just, it's a bad situation. And Yeah, I feel bad. I do. I want this thing to turn around and get better over there. It's not going to get any better over there. You're going to get your ass kicked by Alabama, okay? You're going to lose on opening day. You're going to get drubbed on opening day. And, all the people right now are like, oh, let's wait and see. 2-10 was a mirage. Yeah, come on. I know Florida State fans. How long until you start asking me, what's his bio? So, his decision, a very, very poor one, a very, very immature one. That's terrible advice. Do I want to do that? No, I do not want to do that. What did I want to do? I wanted to get to something here that I had marked down, and I actually did forget. Duval TV's going nuts on YouTube. Okay, Trevor Lawrence now has experienced some of the worst coaches, yada, yada, yada. No doubt. We talk about it every show. He goes on to say, and now with all that wisdom experience, he's been linked with a high-powered, smart offensive-minded coach, and the rise surrounded by nothing but the best pass catchers that he's had since Clemson. It's all there in front of him. It really is. I want to be a believer here, but I've been burnt before, okay, including by Ryan Nielsen a year ago. Burnt, sizzled, torched. I tend to believe that this thing really is going to change. I'm holding on to watching what Liam Cohen did a year ago in Tampa. Now, Baker Mayfield had a good year in 2023 with Dave Canellis. But Liam took him to places they had never been. 41 touchdown passes for Baker. Number 1 in the red zone. Yeah, I asked Grant Udinsky about that today after practice. Maybe we'll play it next hour. Trevor on Friday night. Probably his best ever public performance, non-preseason game. Scrimmage, anything. I mean, he was just doing whatever he wanted on Friday night. And then he makes the boneheaded play. He throws an interception that you cannot throw in the red zone. You can't do it. And he did. So he's not perfect. He's nowhere close to being perfect. But he has absolutely improved. And, what Liam Cohen had as well is he took the worst offense running the football, rushing the football in Tampa, and made him number 4. This is a complete picture. And we talk about it all the time, and you're a very smart football audience. You understand it, that if you want to get the best out of Trevor Lawrence, the other components all have to fall into place. I just went off on the skill position guys. I mean, I think it's as good around here as it's ever been. But you get to the offensive line, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, boy. Oh, boy. I watched the offensive line today with Leon Searcy. Talking with him in between every rep with the offensive line. Of course, he's very technical. He understands the game and what they're supposed to do, unlike yours truly, but that's why I watch it with him. I think Ed Oehser has been their best offensive lineman. Talking with Leon, it almost feels like right now it's the interior offensive line that has been better than the tackles. I think if I was just if we randomly pulled up in some honky-tonk and I was like, hey, that offensive line is awful, man. It's been, they haven't had a Pro Bowler since Tony Baselli. This offensive line's been bad for 20 years. If you just had that conversation, who's the best in the offensive line? Why do I believe you would tell me it's Anton Harrison and Walker Little? Why do I believe you tell me it's the 2 starting tackles? Leon today, he thinks it's the interior. Hainsey, Cleveland. The thought that Cleveland's being, chased down for his starting job. Picked up his game a little bit. And then you look at Ed Oehser, who arguably has been their best offensive. I'm going to ask John Oehser about this coming up here in 5 minutes. I mean, has he won a job somewhere on that offensive line? Can you take him out of the lineup? Has he been the most consistent? Now, he's played a variety of different positions, and Makari's back. They spent a lot of money on Makari. They did not spend a lot of money on Ed Oehser. And admitting mistakes is so important. Ego gets involved. You signed this guy. You signed off on this guy. You've always seen first rounders maybe get a little bit more leeway, a little bit more of a leash than second, third, because you drafted him in the first round, right? Fix it. Coach him up. Certainly wouldn't bet on the fact that Edoga is going to be one of your starting five, but it feels like, at least to right now, he has earned that. So let's come back and do that with John Oehser. Let's focus in on the offensive line here. And, if this thing can come together and they can run the football, there's no telling what they're going to be able to do with the weapons. But you got to run the ball and you got to protect your quarterback. Got to be able to do that. All right, much more to do. Let's begin our second hour. We'll do that with our good friend John Oehser.
Tom McManus.
Well, what's he like?
Big, tall, shoulders like an ox, has the strength of 10 men.
Fridays on Jaguars Today.
Oh, it's me, all right.
On 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
When you want to be heard, send your opinion to the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
Thank you for believing in me when the bosses didn't give me a chance.
641-1010. No texting and driving. Get your thoughts heard on 1010XL.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has been a legend on-road. They've branched out to their off-road division as well. Give us the latest on what you can find on the asphalt.
They've got some great new products. They've got the Scrambler 400s you can get into for a little less than you might think. It's a great price point bike, but still a Triumph.
So affordability is also part of the equation.
It is, and it looks good, and it rides good.
CyclesOfJacksonville.com, or check them out on their Facebook page, the showroom ready and waiting for you on Atlantic near Regency at Cycles of Jacksonville.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Caliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Looking for summer fun the whole family can enjoy? Check out Wick, a candle bar. Make your own custom candles and body care products in store at Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh No's. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Training camp day number 11 is in the books at the Miller Electric Center. Back at it tomorrow morning. Then an off day Friday. Of course, preseason game number 1. Saturday night at 7. All the pregame, in-game, postgame right here on 92.5 FM. Let's bring in our good friend John Oehser, senior writer, Jaguars.com. Hi, John.
Rick, how are you, buddy?
Doing really good. How do you explain yesterday just a really, really bad look for the offense? Clearly their worst day of training camp. And then today, just electrifying it. And what I mean by this, do you think someone, coach or player, lit a fire under them, or they're simply professionals? They just woke up and today was a different day?
Yeah, I mean, it's also hard to know exactly what they were working on each day. Were they bringing in, like Liam said yesterday, they were working, and I think he said it was some 12 personnel that Travis Hunter wasn't involved with. I think I'm getting that right.
Yep.
Was that a really new package that they hadn't worked on much, and therefore you're trying to work through some things, and the defense is maybe a little ahead of you? But I think the big picture is overall, I think yesterday clearly was by far the worst. But overall, the offense has been pretty consistent. It feels pretty sustainable, and we haven't talked since the scrimmage. The fact that the offense and Trevor Lawrence looked so good in the scrimmage, to me, the good has outweighed the rough on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Why it flipped so much, it's really hard to know. I do think one reason is you've got some really good playmakers on this offense, and when they have a bad day, they're capable of flipping it back, even without Brian Thomas on the field. So, if I knew or if they knew, the bad day wouldn't happen, right? And you would always do the good day. But I think overall, I kind of like the thing that I thought I would like, which is the speed of receiver on this team.
Yeah. I just said this a few minutes ago, and I'd love to get your opinion on it. And, there's been some struggles with Brian Thomas Jr., but I still think he's their best player, and he'll be fine. If you look at the top 5 wide receivers and the top 4 running backs, I have to believe they're thrilled right now with what they've seen at those two skill positions. The offensive line is a totally different conversation. But do you agree with that skill-wise?
Yeah, I would probably lop it off at 4 wide receivers. I assume you're probably thinking Cephas is the 5th.
That's fair. Yep.
And I'm with you on Cephas. He's looked really impressive. I always kind of want to wait to see training camp star become game star. But I think what Cephas does give you, I don't know that he's going to be the guy to catch 90 yards in a game at any point this season.
Yeah, and hopefully he's not on the field because the other 3, and if not Parker 4, where you only use him on special teams.
But you can imagine Cephas, if he has to be the 4th, you can imagine the team not knowing much about him and him getting deep for a 40-yarder. I mean, maybe not every play, but he has to scare you. So he's interesting. I know they love, and I would extend it. They love all 5 of their running backs, and that goes down to Jackson, the free agent signee. I don't know that they have a superstar. There's no MJD or Fred Taylor on this team, maybe even a Fournette. But they have 5 guys that I think can all play a role in this scheme. And I think the guy that everybody assumed was going to be gone this year, Travis Etienne, might be having the best camp he's had since he's been here.
Yeah, that entire backfield's been spot on, no doubt about it. John Oehser, our guest, senior writer, Jaguars.com. A quick follow-up on that. I think that because of the struggles recently with the offensive line and all of the attention on trying to make things easier on Trevor Lawrence, they got to have a back in there that's really strong in pass protection. And this looks like a really good group. And let's get right to the late round pick in Allen Jr. There's people out there who believe he's best in pass protection. He also has the best hands in the backfield, which is saying something with ETN.
Yeah, I think he's lining up to be the, Travis is so intriguing as a third down back, meaning ETN, but I think it's going to be hard to keep LaQuint Allen from being a major deal on third down. I haven't dug deep into what they're going to do with 2-back sets. I know Liam had some success in Tampa with that, and I know that's an option. But LaQuint Allen is, they've said since they drafted him that they really liked him and he was going to play a role. All the things you said are true, and he's tough, right? Like it's kind of hard to find flaw in this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he has breakaway ability on the level of ETN. We saw from Bigsby last year, and Tootin's got that. But he's an exciting player that really fits into that description of you can't wait to see him in games, because so much of what we're talking about doesn't translate until then.
Mm-hmm.
But when they start getting things to these backs that they game plan for, I'm intrigued to see what their plan is for using these guys outside of practice.
Yeah. All right, a lot of positives there, no doubt about it. Let's bring up the offensive line. Where are you 11 practices in with that unit?
Well, I think they like the fact very much that Adoga has played well when subbing for Makari. I think the fact that that's an or on the depth chart between those two is significant. The one position group on the team that I always hesitate to judge in practice is the offensive line, because I've just had Bastelli tell me over the years so much that one-on-one pass rush, even drills, are so set up to make it tough on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bastelli, I always say, well, yeah, you're going to say that, but and I've been hearing it for 30 years out of you after pass rush drill.
Right.
So I get it's a little biased, but I do believe that until you start game planning the run in game, it's hard to know how well a team is run blocking, because when you just say line up and stop the run and there's not a specific scheme going on, it's really hard to run in this day and age. So I guess it's an incomplete, and I'm not trying to dodge it. I just know that I have watched offensive line. The 17 offensive line was really good. I didn't think it was very good in training camp at all.
Yeah.
So it's so hard for me to judge. I don't want to make a declarative statement, but it's still the great unknown and the thing that you're going to wonder about until week one. There's no doubt about that.
I feel like you and I don't talk enough about the linebackers, moving.
I think we don't talk enough at all, right? I'll be honest with you.
Moving Foye back inside. And it was the obligatory, it's a contract year, yada, yada. But Devin Lloyd's flying all over the football field.
Well, you've always thought with Devin, I mean, for 3 years it's been, can they figure out a way to unlock the potential that's there? And I've always said this about Devin Lloyd. Remember, he was player of the month or rookie of the month in his first year in the league, because he was around the ball. And when he's around the ball, he gets the ball. So it's always been a case of, can he get him around the ball? They believe that this whole scheme has the defenders looking at the ball more than the last couple of schemes. And zone defense even extends to linebackers in the run game. This scheme is about getting off blocks and using physical ability and letting players act quickly based on what they see.
Yeah.
That, if all of our theories are correct, it's been a matter of Devin Lloyd getting in the right spot, then that should help. The other guy that's going to help, Rick, Antonio Johnson is a guy that they really like. He had a pick today.
I know. Yeah.
But they believe him having his eyes on the quarterback more in this zone scheme. I don't know that he's going to start, but all these people who have thought all along that Antonio Johnson had something, they might see that something this
Yeah,
year.
that would be spectacular. I'm one of them, no question about it. Hey, let's wrap with this. On a positive note, Jordan Lewis has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he makes a play every single day. Do you start him in the base or wait till you go to nickel?
Oh, I think you start him in the base because I'm not sure Travis Hunter is going to start in the base. And any question that involves the corners is so hard to know because they've really outlined and shown their hands what they're going to do with Travis in the offense. But on defense, I think Jordan Lewis could start outside and then move to nickel when they're on the field with Travis Hunter on the field.
Right.
Now, as soon as I say that, that's one combination of a bunch of stuff they could do.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, they've thought all along that simply calling Jordan Lewis a nickel and assuming that that's what it's going to be, I haven't had that indication at all since right after they signed him. What I do wonder, Rick, is what language we're going to use to talk about the corners, because I think the Travis Hunter deal means that we can't sit there and talk nickel, corner, outside corner the same way we have with a normal player, because I don't yet know how they're going to use him. Long story short, Jordan Lewis has been the best defensive back in camp.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
And I think it's been a good group. Yeah.
Yeah, and that gives you, however you use them, they now have three corners that can play. I don't think I'm fooling them. I mean, I don't think I'm breaking any news where that number wasn't that high last year.
No doubt. Absolutely. Hey, John, thank you. See you in the morning.
All right, Rick. We'll see you, buddy.
There he goes. John Oehser, ladies and gentlemen, senior writer, Jaguars.com.
He's our big hitter.
I'm Jaguars Today's middle linebacker, Tom McManus.
He tackles Jags talk from a middle linebacker's point of view. Fridays on 1010XL. Protected by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 6, 1999, Tony Gwynn goes 4 for 5, collecting his 3,000th Major League hits.
The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
When you buy online, you really cannot tell because you're not looking at the stone. So it's impossible to buy a stone online that you could really see everything about it. You have to buy a diamond in person.
That's John Lupo at Beard's Diamonds, who says one big mistake is trying to buy a diamond online. Because each diamond is unique, you need to examine it for yourself.
Otherwise, you can get fooled, you can get tricked, and that's not a good thing when you're spending thousands of dollars.
At Beard's, John's son Ben says they give each customer the ability to compare multiple diamonds in their price range, not just on paper, but up close inside and outside.
Go outside in the natural daylight. That's the best test to be able to see the exact color in the stone, see the brilliance in the stone, and the fire and the scintillation, which is very, very important.
People want to know what they're spending this money on, and they also want to be protected.
That's why Beard's takes it a step farther with a money-back guarantee and a trade-up policy that guarantees you will always get what you paid when you upgrade. Buy with confidence at locally owned Beard's Diamonds in St. John's Town Center.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I-9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Coaching matters, ladies and gentlemen. Don't ever let anyone tell you that it's not. I used to love to conversate with our late David Lamb about that, about managers in baseball particularly. He thought you could just walk a guy out there. What he used to say, you're going to win 50, lose 50. It's how you do in the other 60 or 62. And I think a lot of it for me is because growing up in a pro town in Boston and some of the coaching gaffes, and then choosing Florida State to further my education and see one of the greatest coaches in the history of college football just make some terrible calls in the biggest of games. Coaching matters. It does. The coaching around here has been absolutely dreadful. I really want to believe that Cohen and company are coaching the hell out of this team. And, I mean, he mentioned Antonio Johnson. How many times in my life have I bragged about what I thought Antonio Johnson could do, and he was just lost? There's really no other way to say it. And this too-high shell defense with eyes on the quarterback, not a free, strong safety situation, but in zone coverage, he's had some picks. He's had a really good camp. And Jordan Lewis has been nothing short of spectacular. Eric Murray's been really good as a safety. Dewey's been good as a safety. I hate that you have the injury that Caleb Range saw, he's going to be set back in all of this. I also think on the other side, I want to get to your questions. I also think on the other side, everything we're talking about, skill position-wise, getting the ball to these receivers, just find a way, get them the ball, and let them take off. One thing I did see today that scared me, I'll admit it. I'm going to raise my hand. Travis Hunter had a pass breakup in the end zone today, finally got challenged. A ball going to Diami Brown. Travis Hunter made a real nice play. Paid him both sides of the football today. Put a penny on. Went and did defense. But he caught a couple of passes. He caught one in the red zone. He also caught a ball over the middle. And I was just kind of like, oh, man. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. You're a football player. You're going to get hit. You're going to get hurt. There's going to be collisions. But I'm thinking to myself, really, with Travis Hunter, just throw him the ball behind the line of scrimmage or throw him on outs or throw the deep ball. I don't want Travis Hunter going over the middle past the linebackers in front of the safeties the way he did today to make a reception. Okay? But it's one of those deals where, come on, it's time to man up. You know, there's wide receivers all across the NFL that do that and do that willingly. It's part of his route tree right now. But as always, I'm going to be honest with you, the listener, that when I saw it, I was like, oh, boy, man, you know, you got other guys that can do that. You absolutely do. But anyway, just my thought. Getting back to this offense, and we know that more than anything, with getting those balls to guys to make plays, Liam Cohen wants to run. He's a tough guy. He wants a physical football team. You can feel it. He talked about it. That again, that's the most important thing I got out of his introduction here in town, was his feeling on being able to have a great offensive line and run the football. And 2 tight end sets. That was his second biggest position-wise, as far as or grouping-wise, as far as personnel last year in Tampa Bay. A 12 set, a 1 running back, 2 tight end set. I've been talking a little bit about the pony. Haven't really seen it. Okay? Oehser just mentioned it. The pony's at 21. 1 tight end, 2 running backs. Can you imagine Jacksonville running with a 2-back set? They got 5 running backs right here that they really like. I mean, Jackson's 6'2", 233. Can you put him in front of Allen, who seems to be the real hard ass of the group? He's the one who scored in red zone today. Can you put 2 rookies in your backfield? Look what he did with his rookie last year in Tampa. I'm just thinking out loud here. I think that is enormous, running the football and just being a physically tough team. I don't know. I didn't have a chance to ask him about Milam. I just haven't had an opportunity to see enough of him. I think it's a little premature now to count on a rookie this early, drafted in that spot. But certainly by next year, absolutely, or you know, I hate to say it, midway through this year. This offensive line needs a little bit more nasty. And they need a little bit more leadership. So that remains the big question. Even with everything that's going on in defensive tackle, with Eric Armstead and everything else, it's still, in my opinion, it's not even close. It all comes down to what is happening right there with the offensive line. All right, let's grab a couple of your questions. Let's see here. 2382. Hey, Rick, didn't Armstead skip out of training camp last season? No, he didn't. He was on the pup. And he was just, he was basically walking around doing some treatment. Last year was bad news. I mean, Bulky brought in all these injured guys. Gabe Davis was injured. Darnell Savage was injured. Eric Armstead. I mean, it was just really bad. This year's just been a mystery. And I spoke with him a couple of weeks ago. He said all the right things. I remember during the interview, I said, you haven't done a lot of teamwork yet. He hadn't done any. So, it's a story that grows because no one knows, or if they do know, they're not saying anything. There's been no attempt to put out this fire. And I'll credit the local media. It's not like they've been, banging the drum. It's not like you have a bunch of contrarians around here that are like, what the heck? They told us he's got a back. And they told us Friday night before the scrimmage. And we asked Liam Cohen about it yesterday, and he says he hopes he's ready by opening day, but he doesn't know. That's all I can tell you at this point. But they you got a new scheme here. You need him out there working with his team, as far as I'm concerned. And again, I told you from an impeccable source, his leadership during the offseason was really, really good. 28-35, Ballou, great day without Brian Thomas Jr. Stop it. Come on, man. He's their best player. He's aggravated. He is. And that's got to get fixed. They're not on the same page right now. The eye test tells me it's more on Thomas Jr. than it is on Lawrence. There's been a lot of drops where the ball has been there. I'm not worried about this. I'm not. I say it all the time. Brian Thomas Jr. to me is their best player. Brian Thomas Jr. to me will be a much better game day player than a practice player. No. Listen, there's enough nonsense that we can create. I'm not going that way when it comes to Brian Thomas. 0551 Ballou. Never forget your highest paid defensive player and your number one overall draft pick. Both were healthy and rested enough to go in and play. And so there was rock, paper, scissors. The stash. Yeah, I just said at the top, coaching matters. Coaching absolutely matters. I mean, just think about this league. I'm not talking about college football here. I'm talking about pro football. You've heard the numbers the entire offseason. 10 games, 7 points or less. They lost 4 games by a field goal or less. We're all Monday morning quarterbacks. How many of these Jaguar games, how many NFL games in general, just look at the point spread every week. How many games literally come down to a play here and a play there, or a mistake here and a mistake there? This entire league is that way. Coaching, really, really good coaching can change that. Now, listen, I'm raving about this staff. They've sucked me in. That's not the feeling with everyone. We all know about ESPN ranking them 31 out of 32. I've told you the couple of NFL insiders that I talk with quite a bit, that's their concern. You look at this staff, Liam Cohen didn't surround himself with veteran coaches. He didn't surround himself with a former head coach here, former head coach there. He's got young guys. Took quite a while to form his staff, which I like. And listen, Grant Udinski at 29, that's way ahead of the curve. Doesn't mean he won't end up being brilliant. Who knows? Anthony Campanelli, again, I mean, what I see so far, you just love. You really do. I mean, I think all layers of that defense is going to be much different than what you've seen recently. But people will point out it's first time. So, first time head coach, first time offense coordinator, first time defense coordinator. You're not going to be ranked high when that's where you are. So there are some people that are looking the other way because of that. We'll see. I mean, there's been times before where I thought, oh, wow, this staff is really going to work, and it did not work. Right? I mean, I thought it would work with Doug Peterson a couple of years ago. It did. Second half of the season, they came back, won games, and went to the playoffs. It worked. Then they just checked out. But, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say overcoaching. That'd be wrong. I mean, I'm in no position to make a comment like that, but it just feels like, man, they've attempted to check every box. And things that were so glaringly obvious that were negative, they went to work on immediately. I mean, every show I talk about takeaways, right? 8 last year. Every single day they're stressing takeaways. I mean, solid drills and time spent on takeaways day after day after day after day. And, as we headed this break, just think about, we just talked about one possession, one play. How much a game changes if you can get a pick, if you can force a fumble. Instead of giving Trevor and the offense the worst starting position in the NFL like Jacksonville had a year ago, give him the ball at midfield, for crying out loud. Give him a situation where you pick up 2 first downs, you're already in field goal range. And with an opportunity to score. I mean, they played no complementary football last year. There were times the defense played well and the offense went away. There were times in the second half where the offense played well and the defense needed to make a stop, and they didn't. They could not play with one another a year ago. I think that's probably the best way to describe what really happened. All right, we got much more to do. Take it tonight till 8.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Frank Franzi here for Coyle & Son Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? Do you know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle & Sons. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. CoyleJacks.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass. He told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
Shuffle up and deal for a cause. Let's go all in to help others out. Join the Hold'em for Life poker tournament coming up September 20th at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall. Every hand helps the Women's Help Center support expectant mothers and newborns.
Find out how you can be part of the cure for blood cancer at the Light the Night Walk at ViStar Ballpark November 22nd. Take the first step at lightthenight.org.
Dreams Come True is a local wish-granting organization giving dreams and special times to local children battling life-threatening illnesses. Find out how you can help at dreamscometrue.org.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Here we go. I need some bass. Speaking of it, look at this. It's the Big Baby Drip chiming in at 6383. I was in the massage chair late last night, just working the lower back. I mean, it's tough getting up early and covering these practices, so I need a little extra work in the back. And I'm just, I'm reading a book. It's a really good book. It's about a professor from Tufts University in Boston who murdered a prostitute in the combat zone, which was a big deal growing up. If you ever seen The Wire, they really copied what was originally in the combat zone. What they thought they could do in Boston was give you about 3 to 4 blocks worth of, complete nothing but mischief, and it would keep everyone else in the city clean for the most part. But the problem is it became touristy. You're putting up gentlemen's clubs and prostitution. You can grab guns and drugs. So obviously tons and tons of people made their way there. But I was reading the book and all this and that, and I was like, I was getting tired. I want to shoot some baseball scores, and all of a sudden I get some reels going, and who pops up at the Big Baby Drip? Putting together a song with a buddy of his, doing some good things for the community downtown. I saw it, and I enjoyed it. So good work there, Big Baby Drip. Send us some music. We'll play it. Presentable music, that is.
Or the clean version. You can make an explicit version, but just send me the clean version.
Well, at the end of it, it was funny because at the end of it, he goes off on John Wayne and Hulk Hogan.
Love it.
I'm like, we can play that in my bar and have a good time, but we can't play that here on the radio. But anyway, Big Baby Drip says, is Eric Armstead trying to pull a mystery back injury like Jalen Ramsey did? I want to say no. I want to say that even though when I say Eric Armstead, there's 3 things that come to most Jaguar fans. Number 1, liking a tweet of the concussed Trevor Lawrence. And number 2 would be all he did a year ago. And 3 is he can go to the bathroom. That's it. I mean, that's all he did the entire year in Jacksonville. Still got the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. This is a guy that was supposed to be the next Calais Campbell. He is so well respected across the league. I'd be shocked by this. I would be absolutely shocked. And also, this is an 11-year veteran who's been injured and has not played well. There's not a lot of value for him at his price tag. Jalen Ramsey was in the prime of his career, so I understand the question, but no. In my opinion, absolutely, that is not the case. 9404 Blue, have you personally seen the difference of the red zone recipe compared to camp last year? Yes, it's different. Different looks, better results. Not perfect results, but better results. I'm more confident about red zone than I am goal line, if that makes any sense. And there's a big difference. I mean, red zone, we're talking 20 yards in. Goal line, obviously, we're talking right there. And I thought the defense did a better job in goal line today. I think Oehser made a good point about blocking and the lack of tackling. And what you do now, it's still different once you actually get into a game. Last year's red zone offense was one of the worst red zones I've ever seen in my life. I mean, think of some of the plays that were called last year by both Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. Trevor was like dead last in red zone. This is something that we saw, again, right at the beginning. And Liam Cohen had his fingerprints all over the number one ranked red zone offense in the NFL a year ago with Baker Mayfield. I mean, is anyone going to sit there and tell me that Baker Mayfield is a more talented football player than Trevor Lawrence? Okay, I'll argue with you until I can't anymore. Now, you may mention words that define Baker that you can make a case that we haven't seen with Trevor. Okay, the blue collar mentality. I mean, I haven't really got into that with Liam yet. I really heard it said, but, you know, obviously the book on Trevor Lawrence is Get Down. He did get down, and he was concussed. Did you see Baker Mayfield last year? Did you watch him in the playoffs? Did you see that, Dylan?
He does it all the time, throwing his shoulder.
There's no way. Yeah, there's no way he's getting down.
Yeah, every time there's 3 yards to go, he tries to get 4.
Mm-hmm. So there's a difference. I think there's more of a blue collar, tough guy, fire up your teammates than the God-given natural ability of Trevor Lawrence. And frankly, I don't want Trevor Lawrence doing that. I don't want him picking up the extra yard with the risk of injury. There's a big difference here. But Trevor, it's everything. His mechanics need to improve. His confidence needs to improve. With their happy feet at times. The one thing I will say, I don't think he ever looked over his shoulder. I don't think he was gun shy. I think he's a tough guy that takes hits. But he's had no offensive line, and he's had no rushing attack, and he's had terrible play calls. I mean, he's been victimized by it all. Let's get to this break. But during this whole pursuit of a head coach, my entire idea was this, and I said it for those of you who listened during the time, I said it show after show after show after show after show. My deal was, give me the one coach who walks into the room to Shad Khan, Tony Baselli, Liam Cohen, and says, give me the keys to Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to bring you a Super Bowl. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to, you got the worst rushing offense in the NFL, the worst passing defense in the NFL. We need help here. No. Forget about all that. No. I hope that Liam Cohen was that guy. I hope he walked in and said, give me the keys. Watch me fix Trevor Lawrence. Watch me fix this offense. And this team I am going to take to the Super Bowl. Not this year, but eventually we are going to go to the Super Bowl. That's what I wanted. I don't know if it happened that way. Maybe someday I'll ask. He hadn't even coached a game yet. But anyway, that was just my thinking. Much more to do. Take it tonight till 8. Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
this is Hayes Carlion for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. The online banking services are outstanding. So easy to use, depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. I also go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
It's hurricane season. Protect your home with 904 Gutters with a Z. That's right. Z as in zone defense for your home. Water damage hits hard. 904 Gutters with a Z hits back harder. Search 904 Gutters with a Z and make the right call.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Today was all about the offense. A bounce-back day. Trevor Lawrence, 12 of 16, 4 touchdowns. He had gone a couple of consecutive practices with interceptions. Not the case today. Trevor Lawrence was absolutely dialed in. Parker Washington was your star. 5 catches today, including one to really set the tone. Second play of teamwork. Got behind Dewey and Tyson Campbell, caught a deep ball, also caught a red zone touchdown, a bullet from Lawrence, made another diving grab. Parker Washington has had just a sensational training camp. Wrap things up tomorrow for the week. Early in the morning, Miller Electric Center will be day number 12, and then an off day Friday, and of course the preseason against the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up on Saturday night. All right, let's wrap it up with a couple of quick ones. 28-35, Ballou. Can the Jags trade ETN? Yes, they can. It's a deep position group. I would not. He's had a very good camp. I think he's going to be a big part of the Liam Cohen screen offense. When you get closer to the trade deadline, if this team is disappointing, then let's see what these young guys can do. Move him then, sure. But right now, I just don't think you're going to get enough in return. Now, if you were to say to me, you can trade Travis Etienne for a starting interior defensive lineman with all this Armstead and Mason Smith stuff going on, okay, there you go. But running backs, they'll tell you grow on trees. Are you going to give up a starting interior defensive tackle for that? If you know, and I'll say it, but it's foolish. If you were to move an offensive lineman that is better than what you have right now, those are the two positions that I would really have a major conversation about. All right, because you're not going to get anything for Travis Etienne right now. You're not. And at the end of the year, you're not going to get anything for him because obviously he is going to become an unrestricted free agent. I have a lack of understanding as to why a large portion of this fan base is so down on Etienne. I know he totally changed the complexion of the game with that fumble against Miami. It was a 14-point swing. I don't know if this is official or not, but I've seen he's had like 900 touches without a fumble outside of that one. Sometimes you're just remembered for one play and one play only, right? I mean, Bill Buckner had an absolutely stellar career, close to a Hall of Fame career, okay? Not a Hall of Fame, but close. I mean, a very, very, very good baseball player. Won a batting title. The Red Sox don't get close to the 86 World Series, Bill Buckner, but you remember the era. Feels like in this town, man, with Etienne, it's just, I don't know. But it's a good group right now. That running back unit is solid. And we saw it again today with Quentin Allen is, he may be the best in pass protection, as we said. He may be the best as well in short yardage. And some out there will tell you he's got the best hands in this backfield. So pretty exciting there.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Complete opposite from a day ago, Hacker Nation.
Yeah, the offense was a lot better, even without Brian Thomas Jr., which was interesting. I know he missed practice today with what was described as an illness. He's day-to-day. We'll see if he's back tomorrow. But Parker Washington, a terrific day. Brenton Strange, a terrific day. Cephas continues to make plays. I also thought it was a good day on both sides of the ball for Travis Hunter.
You know, I said this, and some would consider it stupid, but I said it anyway. You take the top 5 wide receivers, who I think they're thrilled with, top 5 running backs, and you add Jackson all of a sudden to that list. I think they're thrilled, and you can honestly make the case that the one out of those 10 who's been somewhat of a disappointment is Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, he's had an up and down camp. There's no doubt about it. And I'd even go to the tight end position. Look, I think Brenton Strange has been very good this camp. I'll tell you who keeps making plays out there is Hunter Long.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know if it's going to matter at all come September, but he made another one today.
I talked to Tom McManus about him a week ago. He said he made big plays at Boston College.
84 every practice makes a play that you go, wow.
Yeah.
Who's this guy? So, and now Johnny Munt's back. Look, I get it. I was talking to some people in the Nashville media today, and they're kind of going through the same thing. Nashville's like, oh, Cam Ward this and Calvin Ridley that, and if Jeffrey Simmons gets back to his old form, and if we look at the Titans like they're going to be awful. Up in Nashville, they have the same thought about Jacksonville. They look at us from afar, and they're going, De'Ami Brown, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange. I mean, who are these guys? I think we're so close to it, we're hoping that we're right. But if you look at it from outside the Jacksonville area, I get why Jacksonville in a lot of these power rankings is anywhere from 25 to 30.
It's very easy to fool you if you go out there consistently, and especially when I started my career, it was college, it was Florida State. They were very good then, but there's such a difference between college and pro. You can see a young 18-year-old that is not close to being ready and he has to be developed. All of these guys out there at all 32 camps, they're really, really good. Yeah. And when you watch them do individual drills and stuff like that, they're always making plays because, again, they're very good.
They're all good. I mean, the Jaguars are going to have to cut 37 guys that are really good at football because they're National Football League players right now. And those cuts are going to be coming sooner rather than later. We'll get some more answers come Saturday night. I'm very excited about the preseason opener. In fact, we're going to go to Pittsburgh. My guy up in Pittsburgh, Ray Fittipaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, is going to join me to kind of give us the Steeler point of view on how they're looking at this game on Saturday. I also caught up with Chad Muma, who, by the way, I'm going to do kind of a 2-week progress report in training camp. we talked a lot about Ezra Cleveland and Darnell Savage and Antonio Johnson and Chad Muma as veterans that might be in trouble. Look, I don't know if they're all going to make the team, but I'll tell you this. Those 4 guys in particular, to me, they've looked pretty good in the first 2 weeks. So if they're going to lose their roster spots, somebody's going to have to take it from them because I like what I've seen out of all 4 guys.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, I was talking about linebackers a little bit earlier. It just feels like it's a totally new group with this scheme. I mean, who would have ever considered taking Foye Oluokun and moving him outside when he is one of the better middle linebackers in the NFL? You look at him, you look at Devin Lloyd, who's been flying all over the field, and you got Ventrell Miller and Kaiser and Muma. I mean, right now on paper, it's a good linebacker core.
I mean, Campanile, look at what he did last year in Green Bay with Quay Walker and with Edge Cooper. Green Bay media will tell you Quay Walker's career might have been saved by what Campanile did last year with him at linebacker. So if he can do that here in Jacksonville, who knows how good Devin Lloyd and Chad Muma are going to be. By the way, both guys in a contract year, so both guys have that added incentive.
All right, what else is coming up tonight?
Yeah, I mentioned Chad Muma. I mentioned Ray Fittipaldo up in Pittsburgh. Former Jaguar Demetrius McCray is going to stop by, and we're also going to talk with Brian Sexton, who will have the television call of the Jaguars and the Steelers on Saturday night.
All right, have a lot of fun. Have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
There he goes. That is Hacker Nation. That's going to do it for us. Thank you to Parker Washington for joining us. My goodness, what a practice today. 5 receptions and just doing it all over the football field. John Oehser as well. Tomorrow morning, the Miller Electric Center final practice of the week. Should be a good one. They have an off day on Friday before before preseason game number 1 on Saturday. So it's going to be electrifying tomorrow. I am looking forward to it. That's going to do it. Appreciate all your comments tonight. A ton of them. Try to respond to as many of you as I can. Dylan Denmark produced the program. My name is Rick Ballou. Talk with you tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
It's a new season.
I like where this team's headed.
A new era.